Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on Episode 4 of the anime series Akuma no Riddle, or Riddle, Story of Devil. And the class black assassin that's going to be trying to get between Takaku and Haru in this particular episode to take Haru's life is this girl by the name of Kaminaga. Now, we find out through flashbacks in this episode, they're really trying to play if she's a sympathetic character, which I found really interesting, like an interesting way to go in this particular episode, because you have to remember, she is an assassin, she's taken lives, she's trying very much so in this episode to take Haru's life, and through these flashbacks we're finding out that she's not really good at it. She's known for being useless and good for nothing in this craft. She's mocked by fellow students of, going back I guess almost to an elementary school like assassin school. She's mocked for almost killing her classmates, and she only has one real friend that we see, this almost mentorish woman by the name of Irina. And on another particular flashback sequence, we're seeing that this woman's life was ended by a mistake of Kaminaga's. She was setting up a car bomb or something like that, and it went off, it exploded, and took this Irina woman's life. Now, I think it's kind of interesting that Irina, just before this, had given Kaminaga some very cryptic sentiments and words about what the meaning of death is at the end of life and everything like that, which plays into the overall episode. But why would she be focusing on that particular topic if she didn't know she was going to die at that moment? Was it a coincidence? Was it, maybe she committed suicide? In any case, this really tainted Kaminaga's outlook of her particular role in being an assassin. She doesn't think she's very good at it, and nobody else seems to either, And it's very interesting that this plays into a sort of beeline level of the story of this episode that has to do with the 7 wonders, air quotes, of the school, one of which is this book that's hidden in a hidden room in a library, and if you find this book and you sign your name in it, you will have, happiness granted to you for life, something like that. And of course, this is something that really sparks Haru's interest, so she kind of persuades Takaku to take her after hours into the library so they can find this book and she can be granted happiness for herself. But of course, Kaminaga has been shadowing them every step of the way throughout the episode, knows where they're going to be, and she's been trying to booby trap everything from Haru's favorite grape soda to the refrigerator with a grenade. So she knows, I'm going to pick out a book in the library and I'm going to attach an explosive. Takaku just barely manages to quell Kaminaga's murder attempts. And finally, she rains down this level of, just common sense on Kaminaga, because Kaminaga reveals her wish to be granted if she's successful in taking Haru's life would be that she doesn't have to be an assassin anymore. Well, you know what? Stop killing people then. I mean, it's common sense, really. And it's interesting, though, because, of course, this is Kaminaga's failure once Takaku has managed to prevent her taking Haru's life. And I love how there's a sort of touchstone at the very end of the episode to do with this book, signing your name in it. Haru decides to sign Kaminaga's name in it, hoping that she will have happiness wherever she's moved on to, because, as we know, these girls will be expelled from Class Black if they fail. Now, we don't actually know what happens to them, whether they're killed or whether they're sent back for retraining or something like that. It remains to be seen. But another aspect I found very curious in this episode were 2 of their fellow classmates, Namatame and Kirigaya, who we find out Kirigaya is a very, young-looking student. She's the same age as all the girls in the classroom, but she has a handicap, I guess, where she looks much younger than the rest of them. And Namatame is always, walking her around, guiding her around, holding her hand and everything. And they're confronted in the hallway by Takaku and Haru at one point, where essentially they're talking about the class finals. That's another aspect to the episode. We find out in the end that Haru is the top of her class as far as having the highest grade point average, everything like that. She's the best in the class. But the conversation with Namatame and Kirigaya end up proving the fact, at least to Namatame's claim, that she's not actually there seeking to take Haru's life. She's there for a different reason altogether. And of course, this is something Takaku completely dismisses. She doesn't believe it worth a chance. Haru is hopeful. Haru is still very much naive in the fact that maybe some of these other girls will let me slip by with my life, will not try to take shots at me. Maybe they'll be my friend. She kind of had that going a little bit, misdirected with the Kaminaga character, because she was wearing her little friendship, keychain on her belt or whatever that Haru had given her at the opening of the series. So it's interesting to me that we might have a couple fellow assassins in Class Black who might be there for a different purpose. It remains to be seen whether this will be true. Will she turn out to be, good and prosperous, or in fact, she's just lying and blowing smoke up, Takaku and Haru's butts. But I thought this was an enjoyable episode, if curious for, like I say that trying to drive home the sympathetic nature of the Kaminaga character, because, as I said, she was an assassin. She's taking lives, so you can only feel so bad for a character like that. But still very enjoyable, and yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.